I think I discovered like I can deal with hard things.
Tell me a little bit about your confidence on the field before the program.
I think my confidence like before the program, I think I was like nicking at like every little thing that I did wrong and like kind of like getting in my head about it and like ultimately it was like leading to like me not playing the best games because I was so stuck on like a moment or a situation rather than like just focusing on like what's next or anything like that.
Yeah. So what's different now? If I were watching you play, what do you think I would notice?
I think you just notice like instead of like being stuck in the moment, I would just like if I lose a ball or something, like I'm fighting to go like win the ball back. And I'm not like being stuck on the moment, being like, oh, like I should have like kept the ball, but I'm like immediately just like going to go and try to win the ball again.
Yeah. Before, what kind of things used to get in your head or throw you off during games?
I definitely think like field status was definitely a big one. Like I think a lot of times, like even in practices, we didn't always get the best fields. And so it's like you always want to blame like, oh, the ball didn't go the way it was supposed to because of the field or the bounce or anything like that. And so I think definitely that was a way that like a lot of people like me and my teammates like would react.
Yeah. So how do you handle that situation now?
I think I just look at it from like a different point of view. Like that is not something that I can control. And then again, like going back, like if I do play a bad ball, like it's not just the field's fault. Like you can't control that. That's how the field is made. And so just like then going again, like working hard to get the ball back and do all I can because that is something I can control.
Another thing about like the field is it's not just something that just affects you, right? It's not just
Mhm.
something that just affects your team either. It affects both teams. It's not even as if it's in a disadvantage, right? Because it's
Hmm.
literally affecting everybody in that moment.
Yeah.
What's something else that used to throw you off or just get in your head?
In practices or stuff like that, like if my teammates aren't working hard or like just being silly in practices and I feel like I'm not getting the full benefit out of it.
Yeah. So how in those situations, and those can be really tough because you can't
Mhm.
control them, but how can you handle those situations now, considering the things that you can control?
Yeah, I think now instead of like getting mad at my teammates, one, I can be like uplifting and be like, hey guys, like I think we should like focus in on whatever drill we're doing, but also like just working hard for myself in every drill and like doing exactly like what I want to do and what I want to focus and work on because ultimately that's benefiting me working hard and like trying my hardest.
Where have you discovered that confidence comes from?
I think confidence comes from like me and like all the things I can control. And I think I've like learned not to like base my confidence on like other people saying good job to me after a game or you did this well, but really like looking at like myself after a game and being like, hey, like these are really good moments that I did and like remembering those and taking that into account as I looked forward to like the next practice or the next game.
And what did we call that when people give you motivation or compliments or playing time or something like that? What did we call that?
External validation.
Yes, external validation, which we talked about it a lot, right? External validation
Hmm.
is nice, of course, those compliments when you're making rosters, all of that. But when we really dive deep into it, tell me again, where does that true, deep confidence and belief in yourself and your abilities come from?
Yeah, the internal validation, like yourself internally.
Yes. Yes, 100%. It comes from you. You have full control over your confidence when you start to see it that way. What are you more prepared to do when something hard happens, when you're in the middle of all that stuff?
Now I just like I take deep breaths and I use like my plan that I have like set for myself before games and even apply it in like situations like that to just like take breaths and like visualize like a moment that I'm doing well or something to kind of help me calm down. And I think like I've realized like that pressure is like good because like you want to have pressure. It's exciting to have like something like some kind of pressure like that. And so now it's like I want something like to go play in college. And so I yeah, that's pressure, but like it motivates me to want to go out there and like try my best, work the hardest, be the best teammate I can be to like prove that.
How do you prepare before games now compared to before MMA? Like, what would you say is different?
I think before MMA, I kind of just like went into games like not really having like a mental prep plan and kind of just like hoping that I was going to play the best game of my life or whatever. Versus now, like I have this plan set that I've been like continuously doing, which is like listening to pregame music, visualizing good moments. I have my highlight films that I'll rewatch for like good moments that I like did something successful of like my controllable objectives to remind myself that I can do those things. And so I think that's really helped me and having like a consistent plan like that. I think it helps me like stay in that consistent like flow state to like just some kind of consistency before a game.
Tell me about what was the most helpful thing that you learned learned or practiced in the program, or just what's your like favorite tool, just in general? What did you take from the program that you were like, yes, like this, I still use this every single day?
My favorite tool is definitely what's next because I think it's just helped me on the field with like something's hard and not going my way instead of like again being stuck in that moment. I just think to myself like what's next? What can I do to go win the ball back or make it difficult for the girl to like control the ball?
For you, yourself, what do you think that you learned about yourself during the program? What did you discover about your strengths?
I think I discovered like I can deal with hard things. After the program, I'm able to like realize in hard situations, like I can come out of them even stronger and like not let that be like a setback, but like focus on like the comeback for whatever it is.
Definitely. And you also have the experience of coming back from an ACL injury.
Yes.
So, with that history, considering also the stuff that you learned in the program, how do you think that that has shaped you into being able to like handle more adversity moving forward?
I think it just makes me like look at things from a different like perspective and like just to realize and see the growth like where I was and who I have now became. And I think my mental toughness has definitely grown from it because while things were challenging, I've ultimately made it to where I am today. And I'm proud of that. So
Yeah, that's amazing. So, what's the limit for you?
there is no limit.
There is no limit. What would you tell another player who is considering this program? It could also be like, what would you tell your past self before you started?
Yeah, I think definitely before the program, I was a little like hesitant going into it because I've never talked to someone like one-on-one about like soccer or anything like that, or how I'm feeling, or how like anything soccer related is making me feeling. So I think definitely going into it, I was hesitant, but I think throughout the program, like I've discovered amazing tools, amazing people who are gonna ultimately help me for whatever I need, soccer related, not soccer related. And I think it helped me learn a lot about myself and who I am. So I definitely recommend it for anyone because you get to learn a lot about yourself and ultimately like the mental challenges. It's always going to be hard, but once you gain these tools and have them like in your back pocket, you'll be able to face anything.
Yeah, and you're about ready to become a coach. You're about ready to take my job, right? Well, it's been such a pleasure. I
Thank
will see
you.
you later. Thanks for jumping
Thank
on.
Yeah.
Bye.